Alrighty, we have reached week 12 of the NFL season. Season turned along almost with the regular season somehow. Continues to go by fast. This is the week before the Thanksgiving week, so we will see a lot of the teams in action here. We do have 4 teams going on the bye for this week. We have the Broncos, the Dolphins, the Chargers, and the Commanders. All that are going to be on bye this week. My record continues to go up. Win percentage continues to go up. So definitely look forward to another week of picks. With that being said, though, let's get right into it. And we'll start with a pretty good Thursday night football game between the Bills and the Texans. And overall, if you look at the Texans defense, it's been playing top tier, championship level defense. The question with them is going to be their offense down the stretch. Don't 100% know the word on Stroud right now. I feel like it's been a bit longer than expected with that concussion. Then you look at the Bills. I think they have their limitations, but I do think Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL right now. So Buffalo's a really tough team for me to bet against, but if there's a team that can knock them off, it is Houston. But just with how Josh Allen has been playing recently, I'm going to take the Bills in this one by a close margin, 27-24. That they'll just have enough to get past this really stingy Houston defense. And I'll take the Bills 27-24 on Thursday Night Football. Moving on, you have the Patriots and the Bengals for the Sunday slate. And Patriots have been really playing out of their mind recently. And if you look at the Bengals, they have been a massive disappointment. It's sad to see for that fan base. Their defense just gets shredded week after week after week. They've looked really, really bad. Really tough team to watch overall. And if you look at the Patriots, their culture is really good. If I had to take a team between these two, it's going to be the Patriots every time. Give me them 30-22. I think they win pretty convincingly. I think it's possible that Cincinnati could cover their end of the points. It's a pretty large spread, but I will take the Patriots in this one, 30-22. Moving on, you have the Steelers and the Bears, and I think this is a really big game for both teams. I think this game kind of portrays if either of these teams are going to make the playoffs in their respected conference. If you look at it, it's a big turning point game for both teams. Both teams seem to be playing with some juice going into this week, playing a lot better. Chicago coming off a pretty emotional victory against the Vikings. Then you look at Pittsburgh, who just blew out Cincinnati. So when you look at it through and through, I think you're looking at a really competitive matchup right here that we're about to get. But I'm going to take Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams to scheme up something to take down the Steelers in this one. It's going to be a really close margin. I'll take the Bears 28-27. Going to be an extremely close game, as I said, but I'm going to take Chicago to outlast the Steelers 28-27. Moving on, you have the Lions and the Giants. And if you look at the Giants, not much has gone right for them at all recently. Now they have some tape of Jameis Winston on the Giants. I think maybe he got off to a start against Green Bay just because they didn't know what he would look like in that uniform with that team. But if you overall look at the Lions, they're coming off a tough loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. So I expect them to bounce back from that with Dan Campbell. I expect them to have a really good week of practice, obviously. And I think Detroit wins in blowout fashion in this one. I have them 35-17 over the Giants. I think they're just going to find a way to break away in this game, and it's not going to be very close at all. Give me the Lions 35-17. Moving on, you have a very good divisional matchup. You have the Vikings and the Packers, and I think this is a make or break game right here for J.J. McCarthy. I'm already out on him. I think he looked awful in that game. That was one of the worst performances I've seen. There was moments where he just was throwing to air. He was throwing to no one. He had some bad interceptions in that game, and overall, somehow he had one good drive and he almost found a way to win the game. That's how solid the roster is and the defense is. But against a team like Green Bay, you just have to feel that he's not going to be able to make those mistakes. Green Bay does have a solid defense. They have some inconsistencies when it comes to offense. And I think some of that might have to do with play calling, but all the same, I do think that the Green Bay Packers are going to find a way to win. It's going to be close because the personnel of Minnesota is really good. They just don't have the quarterback figured out at this point. So give me the Packers 20-17. It'll be a very close win, but I like the personnel and the quarterback, Jordan Love, for the Packers a little bit more, although he might be dealing with some injuries. He did come back, so we'll see what happens with that, but I will take the Packers 20-17. Moving on, you have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans have been the worst team in the NFL so far. They just don't have the personnel through and through. Then you look at Seattle. They're coming off a game where Sam Darnold really couldn't have played worse. And I think if you look at it in that game they played against the Rams, the fact that they had a shot to win that game at the end with that field goal attempt, that says a lot more about Seattle than it says about the Rams if you look at it, because Sam Darnold was really flustered and really confused with the Rams. Some of it might be it's a bad matchup. If you go back to the playoff game he played against Minnesota, that was a rough matchup for him. He did not look his best either in that game. But you have to consider with the talent that they have to still have a chance to win with a field goal in that game is mighty impressive. And I think they dominate pretty good against Tennessee here. I'll take them 28-10. I think it's a pretty lopsided victory for Seattle through and through, 28-10 over Tennessee. Moving on, you actually have a really solid matchup here between the Colts and the Chiefs. And Chiefs are on must-win mode right now. I think if Chiefs lose this game, they're out of the postseason pretty much. This is a must-win for Kansas City. On the other side, you look at the Colts here, a team that's coming off the bye and also coming off a tough loss the previous week that they played. This is a team that wants to win too. They want to grab some momentum back. And I think it's going to be a battle. And this was a big go either way game for me. But I think if you look at it, the Chiefs are in a point right now where their backs are against the wall. I like the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, much better than Daniel Jones in this one. And I just have to feel that they're going to make a few plays in this game. Chiefs historically are a team that you don't want to bet against in these games where their backs are absolutely against the wall. So I'm going to take the Chiefs by a very slim margin. I'm going to take them 23-20. I think they find a way to win in this one. Moving on, you have the Ravens and the Jets. And I honestly thought that Lamar Jackson played one of his worst regular season games of his career against Cleveland last week, albeit Baltimore still finds a way to win that game. But you have to wonder, is he still injured? Is there aggravations that are causing him to not be 100% of himself out there? And he needs to bounce back this week. It's very important that he does against this Jets team who traded away pretty much their entire defense, their offense. Justin Fields can barely throw the ball at this point, and they just can't really seem to get anything going. So Baltimore really needs to pop. They need to win by double digits in this game. It's really important, and I think they're going to be able to do it. I have them winning 21-10. I think they're going to have just enough to get a double-digit victory against this Jets team. This Jets team has been pretty rough and banged up throughout the year. So give me Baltimore Ravens 21-10. Moving on, you have the Browns and the Raiders. And this game actually becomes very interesting because it's very possible that Shedeur Sanders could start and play in this game. And overall, if you look at it, it becomes a crucial game for the career of Shedeur Sanders because he needs to come in and play decent and or win this game because, as we saw from last night, this Vegas team is absolutely terrible. They are very bad through and through. Geno Smith is bad. And if you're Cleveland, with how good their defense is going to play against that Raiders offense, I already know that defense is going to hold up really well with Myles Garrett, with all their guys. Shedeur's going to have to come in and be capable. He's going to have to find a way to win them this game, or the media is going to absolutely turn on him. I've seen this story before. The media, there's going to be no excuse. It's not going to be like, oh, he played Kansas City, he played Buffalo. No, he's playing this awfully trending Raiders team right now. So I will take the Browns in this one, 13-10, sheerly on their defensive presence alone. I think they could dominate overall. And if you look at it, the Raiders have defensive issues in the secondary as well. So give me the Browns in this one, 13-10 over a struggling Raiders team. Moving on, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Arizona Cardinals. And I do owe the Jaguars a bit of an apology. I have been saying from week to week that they're not a for-real team. They're not a for-real contender. They showed me something in that last performance against the Chargers. They showed me, all right, this is a playoff team that could contend to potentially win some playoff games. They showed me that last week, and now they have a really good opportunity to prove that and to solidify that against an Arizona Cardinals team that's absolutely struggling. Now, albeit they're depleted with injuries right now, that's understandable, but overall, the Jags should come in here and they should get a huge victory against Arizona. I will say for Arizona, Trey McBride's huge upside for them, but other than that, they're riddled with injuries. They can't get any momentum going. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-20. I think they win by double digits in this game, and we'll see if they're able to solidify them being as legitimate as I now do believe they are after that week. They had a really good week against the Chargers. So give me the Jaguars 31-20. Moving on, you have a divisional matchup between the Falcons and the Saints. Falcons have fallen off a cliff at this point. They can't seem to get any momentum going at all. Looks like Michael Penix could be out for the year. Kirk Cousins, when he came in, looked absolutely terrible in that game that he had to come in and play in that loss against Carolina. So don't really know what to make of them. Then you have the Saints, whose personnel is really bad. So I will take Atlanta to end the losing streak. I'll take them 25-20. Not the most confident in it, but if you look at it overall, this team is due for a win right now. Kirk Cousins, we'll see what he can do. But I think if you match up personnel-wise, Atlanta has far better guys overall. So I have to take the Falcons this one, 25-20. Moving on, you have a really good game between the Eagles and the Cowboys. And the Cowboys will have strings of impressive performances, but then when they've played real teams this year, they have kind of struggled and they have come up short in those games. I actually think this one is going to break that norm a little bit, and I think that it will be a really close game. But if I had to take a team between these two, I'm going to go with the Eagles at this point. The Cowboys defense, albeit it played better against a struggling Raiders offense, is just not there on a competitive level, especially against a team like Philadelphia. So you got to think they're going to put up some points here. Thought A.J. Brown played a little bit better, had those conversations with the team owner, so he was able to kind of get some more familiarity with them. So I'm going to take the Eagles by a very slim margin, 31-30. I think we're looking at a really close game here, but Eagles will win by 1 point, 31-30. Moving on, you have a solid matchup, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Rams. And the more you look at it, the Buccaneers have had a really tough schedule overall this year when you look at the amount of big games that they've played in overall. But you look at a team like the Rams, and they just feel like they're firing on all cylinders at this point. Stafford has a few limitations when it comes to getting out of the pocket. But other than that, this defense for the Rams is really solid. Some of the offensive, like you forget that they have Devontae Adams sometimes. I think sometimes that gets lost in the wind and forgotten. And he has played really well this year. Puka Nacua, they have two really quality backs. So I'm going to take the Rams in this one, 27-24. I think that Rams defense gives Baker quite a few issues, and they're able to win this one on Sunday Night Football, 27-24. Then you have a Monday Night Football matchup between the Panthers and the 49ers. 49ers, you got to give Kyle Shanahan props for what he has done with this super injured team. I will say Brock Purdy came back, and he looked more than halfway decent. He looked pretty good in that performance, and they have some of the guys back overall. So they're putting themselves in a position where they can compete and they could actually go on a run here with their schedule. Carolina, Bryce Young had his best game recently as a pro, but I still think that Robert Saleh and this defense, they're going to find a way to scheme him up and get to them. So give me the Niners in this one, 28-21. Think they're able to break away at the end of this game. With that being said, that's going to be all the picks for Week 12. I really like them. On the screen right now is my record for the season. As you can see, it keeps going up. Want to get that to 75%. Really going to have some quality weeks here. Would love to go undefeated. And with that, we will be back next week at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday for Week 13.